morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome on in. It's 1TS Daily live right here at One True Sport. How's it going? I'm Zack Heydorn from Brass Ring Media. I'm your host. Happy Monday. It's September 30th, 2024. We're almost, I think technically we're officially in fall right now, but it doesn't, at least here in Chicago, it doesn't feel like fall quite yet. But we're almost in October. Been a wild weekend. It's going to be a busy week in the world of wrestling, and we're here to cover it all on this good Monday morning. All right, lots to get to. Amy's in the chat and says, "Goodness, what a morning! Make it better, Zach." Amy, I will do what I can for sure. I know the feeling. And it's Monday. And man, we're gonna get through it together. We're gonna get through it together without question. Amy, I hope you hang in there. Hopefully you can kick back, enjoy 20-25 minutes of pro wrestling talk, and make your day a little bit better so far. But thanks so much for being here. I certainly appreciate it. It makes my day better. So thank you. This is 1TS Daily. If you're checking this out for the first time, hello. If you're on YouTube watching us, thank you so much for being here. If you wouldn't mind, head over to that like button and just click. It helps us out big time to get this show rolling and to get it where we want it to go. If you're on Twitter listening to us, whether it's on the One True Sport feed or Rob Van Dam we're so grateful to him for allowing us to broadcast on his feed. Hello to all you guys as well. If you are One True Sport members and you're listening to this after the fact as a podcast, hello, thanks to you, thanks to your membership, and thanks for pressing play on the show. We are live with this show Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, every single day of the week. And we talk the news of the day in pro wrestling. We preview the shows of the week. We review the shows of the week, and we talk anything and everything in between. So thank you so much for being here. If you want to learn more about One True Sport and the membership opportunities that come along with it, so you can get this show right to your phones, right to your tablets, right to wherever you want as an audio podcast for your kind of daily what's going on in wrestling fix. You can do that. OneTrueSport.com. We got 3 different membership tiers. And lots of other cool perks and access to top talent in the professional wrestling industry. So you're definitely going to want to check that out. We have a 1TS Daily shirt and a 1TS Daily hat in the old merch store. Hopefully you guys check that out. That'd be cool to see some people sporting that thing. But needless to say, OneTrueSport.com is the hub for all of that. Live chat's open. Sean's in there. Sean says, "Zach, what's up, my friend?" And we take care of each other on this show. And big ups to Sean for bringing this up. Sean says, "Prayers out to all the people affected by the hurricane." And Amy, praying that your day gets better. Thanks, Sean. Yeah, we're a nice little community here. We take care of everybody. Yeah, man. Boy, the hurricane. Goodness gracious. I mean, if you are listening to this show from North Carolina or wherever, the hurricane has impacted you. Yeah, we're thinking of you. We are thinking of you. And if you're listening to this show going through that, I mean, obviously we thank you, and we'll do all we can to kind of ease your mind, at least for the next 20-25 minutes, talk a little pro wrestling. But obviously you've got bigger fish to fry than this show, and we're thinking of you and hoping everything gets better for you really, really soon. But thanks, Sean. It's good to call that out. All right, let's first talk about something that is interesting, and it's fascinating at the same time. Tonight is the last 3-hour Monday Night Raw of 2024. And depending on what Netflix wants to do, maybe the last 3-hour Raw ever. I don't know. We just don't know. It's such a, I don't know. The 3-hour Raw thing is such a, it's just such a, I don't want to say polarizing topic, because that's not really what it is. Because I think generally people generally people think that 3 hours is too long for a wrestling show, for a movie, for anything, I mean, for the most part, 9 times out of 10, I think, that's too long. At the same time, if you're like us and you're analyzing this business from a business perspective and what 3 hours means for the company, I mean, it's money that WWE gets. And so you kind of can understand, all right, well, take the money. They got the talent. And then to Sean's point, but Raw has been so good lately, though, which is weird. And yeah, Raw is, to me, right now, the best pro wrestling show out there, start to finish. But the thing to remember is it's taken, 15 odd years for 15 odd years for that to be a thing, right? Like, it wasn't an overnight sensation. It was a grind. It had some of the worst moments in WWE television history, all part of the 3-hour Raw. So it is an end of an era tonight, in more ways than one. And it's just, I actually hit a comment there again. What up, what up, Sean? Yeah. So it's a really interesting thing. And the question I have is, when Raw goes to Netflix, it's like, it's a different ballgame. It's not, regular cable television where, they're going to, where they solely recoup their investment on ad dollars, right? Not solely, but, a good chunk of that money that they make off the WWE products being on their television stations is ad dollars. And Netflix, yes, they're trying to sell ad dollars too. They will be trying to do that. But it's not, the be all end all like it is for cable television. There's subscriptions that prop up and are like the main revenue driver for Netflix is not advertising. But you can bet they're going to want to sell some advertising. So the question becomes, do you want a polished product that's 2 hours long, or do you want a little bit longer one that you can sell more advertising into? And we'll see what that formula is. But it just seems to me that it's an odd. Now reports indicate that it's not really WWE's call here, whether they want to go to 2 hours or stay 3. I don't think anybody's going to go kicking and screaming away from 2, but it just seems weird to me that you cut down to 2 hours just for a few months to go back up to 3. But such is life. That's what it means. My guess is, I would guess, and I think I've said this on the show before, I would guess that Netflix show is going to fluctuate, based on what WWE wants to do. Like, maybe they're going to just say, all right, we are going to produce the best show that we can this week. Some weeks that's going to be 3. Some weeks that's going to be 2, but it's never going to be more than 3, and it's never going to be less than 2. I think that could be, an avenue that they go down. It's probably, it's probably the right one, given the flexibility that they're going to have, in terms of how to present the product and make the most, out of that investment. So end of an era tonight, guys. End of an era tonight. We're going to preview Raw here in a minute, but I want to run down Smackdown from this week because it's I thought it was a pretty fun show. I thought it was a pretty good show. You had at the top like a big angle, not angle, but like Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens. It seems as if they're teasing fallout, at some point between those 3. And I don't know, like, to me, like the feud to get to with those guys is Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. Like, I just think that's a better main event match for Cody than Kevin Owens. I mean, we've seen the Kevin Owens thing already. Nothing against Kevin Owens here, but he to me is more along the lines of a Sami Zayn type challenger to the world title than Randy Orton is. Like Randy Orton, he's got like 13 or whatever it is, 12 world championship reigns, right? Like to me, that's just more of a marquee match, Cody versus Randy, than Cody versus Kevin Owens again. So to me, like I thought it was a good segment because they were all able to kind of like coexist, but there was also tension there too. And so I like the fact that they were able to sprinkle that in. We'll see where they go, but Orton and Cody's always been a feud that I think you had if you were Paul Levesque for Cody, and now they can do that if they want to, and I think they should. I think Cody needs to be away from the bloodline at this point, at least for a little while after Bad Blood, as far as his title challengers are concerned. And this is a good way for him to do that, but have a top tier opponent at the same time. So I liked what they did with that on SmackDown. We had Bayley versus Naomi, the winner getting the championship match for the WWE Championship, Women's Championship, and Nia Jax. Bayley won that. She now has a WWE Women's Championship match in her back pocket. Andrade versus Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes won in a really good match. I thought these two have like incredible chemistry together, and I know that they're out there pretty much to just have a good match with one another, like to fill some time on the show. I mean, this went 17 minutes according to Wade at pwtorch.com. And so, I don't know what it means for Carmelo to get that win. Andrade's not, a protected guy. He's not a big guy, but, wins are better than losses. So there you have it. All right, Michin versus Piper Niven. Michin won in 8 minutes. Not much to that one. And then Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu battled Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. Fatu and Solo won. Of course, Cody and Kevin Owens got into it. Randy, the voice of reason as the show went off the air, which red flag city on that one. If Randy's the voice of reason and that's the visual WWE's going with, I mean, I fully expect a Randy turn. And as I talked about, it's the way to go, but I fully expect to see Randy Orton turn on Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens at some point. So when will that happen? I don't know, but everybody's good for now, but it's like walking out eggshells in that relationship. Sean says here, what did you think of Nia choking Tiffany? Wasn't a fan of the visual. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Sean, I honestly didn't think much of it. I think you see a lot worse in wrestling matches, and it was jarring for sure. But I think, that's how they want to present Nia Jax. I think they want stuff like that to be jarring. Now, you can argue whether or not they should go that route, and I think that's a worthwhile argument. And it's gonna impact some people and not impact others. I wasn't too fazed by it, especially because I think Tiffany Stratton is going to get like her comeuppance on Nia Jax. I mean, they have slow burned this thing, and like they're on their way to making Tiffany Stratton a big time babyface. I don't know though, guys. Like, I think Tiffany Stratton is supremely talented, and I think she's going to be a champion in WWE many times over, and like for long periods of time. Like, I really think she's got such a huge upside. But her as a babyface, I don't know. Like, initially, it's going to go fine because she's going to cash in on Nia Jax. Everyone's going to love that, and she's going to feud with Nia Jax right out of the gate. And that's going to be fine for her. But the character, that character itself is tailor-made for a heel. Like, Tiffy time? I mean, come on. I don't know how you like turn that into something that's really, really likable because it's inherently annoying. It's inherently obnoxious. So you really are going to have to work hard to get that. Sean in the chat here, is brings up a good point and says Tiffany just has to be relatable when she turns face and doesn't stick to just gimmicky stuff. Yeah, I mean, she has to find a way to be relatable, no question. I mean, she's got to figure out how to walk that line. I just don't know that the Tiffy time gimmick can make that happen. It's a lot like it's a lot. Well, I mean, okay, it's a lot like Mercedes Moné. It's a lot like Sasha Banks was, where it's like, okay, in theory, she could be a babyface. Fans like her, right? Fans appreciate her. But the gimmick, like the boss, the CEO, that's not something that can last long term as a babyface. And Mercedes has never been able to pull it off as Mercedes Moné or as Sasha Banks for a sustained long period of time. I think Tiffany falls in a similar trap here, as Sasha Banks did and does, where that gimmick is just loaded up with heel everywhere. And then, and Tiffany Stratton, I think, kind of has that heel personality to her. There's not, you don't feel a lot of sympathy there for her when you're watching her. I mean, looks like she's a pro wrestler carved out of stone. She looks great, beautiful, athletic. Like she's worked her way up from the bottom to the top. So there's the meta narrative of like she's getting the big push. She's getting a big push. Sometimes that works, and you can connect with WWE fans that way. Other times it doesn't. People get smartened up on what's happening, and they just push back on the push. So we'll see what happens here. But I mean, they're on the road now. I mean, they're not going to turn back at this point. I mean, Tiffany Stratton is going to cash in on Nia Jax, win that championship, and then I think you go with her from there. But we'll see. You'll have to see how it goes. I just I have my doubts at this point in time. All right, let's preview tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw. It's a big one. It is the Raw Go Home for Bad Blood, which is this weekend. We'll preview Bad Blood in full on Friday's episode of 1TS Daily live right here at 11 Eastern. So don't miss it if you want to preview that show. Raw will be in the can at that point. We'll have a full Smackdown preview for this upcoming Friday, and we'll just do all we can to get you guys ready to go for that show. In the meantime, tonight on Raw, we got Bronson Reed versus Braun Strowman in a last man standing match. Jey Uso is going to appear as the new Intercontinental Champion. Kofi Kingston is going to battle Chad Gable. Rey Mysterio versus Xavier Woods. We've got Dominic Mysterio, JD McDonough, and Carlito against Dragon Lee, Joaquin Wilde, and Cruz del Toro. And then we've got a big, I don't know if it's going to be like a face-to-face appearance, but CM Punk and Drew McIntyre will both appear before their Hell in a Cell match at Saturday's Bad Blood. So that's what I'm looking forward to most tonight. Looking forward to seeing how they put a cherry on top of the build to the CM Punk, Drew McIntyre stuff. I have mixed opinions or mixed feelings on what they should do. In some ways, this is a moment where you want to get them on television together in the ring, talking about the match, talking about what it means. Doesn't really make sense with a Hell in a Cell looming to do it that way. So I could see them going one of two ways with it. You could do, some kind of backstage split screen, where you got Punk here and Drew here, and you have them cut promos on each other that way. I think that could work. But ultimately, you need to see both these guys make their case for like what this match means to them and to close out the feud. And what does it mean for them to do that? What does it mean for their future? I also think, a big part of the build to this is it's really been less about Punk and Drew and more about, repairing the credibility of Hell in the Cell as a big time blow off, dangerous affair that was just watered down terribly in the final years of Vince McMahon's booking with the red cage and all that nonsense. Like they've worked to repair that, and I think they have to continue doing that. Continue doing that tonight. But you want to see these guys talk. I mean, a big part of what's been intriguing about this is they're talking, and you want to see that on display. And so they've got a case to make. Bronson Reed versus Braun Strowman is going to be the main event. I love this. I think that they've done a really good job building this match up where it feels like a TV main event. Huh. What a world we're living in right now. I like that WWE is taking 2-3 weeks to build up Raw main events. Makes perfect sense. Why how that was not done for years is beyond me. But this feels like a big deal. And as Sean says in the chat here, Bronson Reed's got to win. He's going to win. It's going to happen, period. He's going to win. I mean, like at some point he's got business with Seth Rollins to take care of. Rollins been all over the NFL the last few weekends. And, I don't know if he's close to coming back, but you don't do that angle if you're not planning on that match at some point. So absolutely you keep Braun Strowman strong here. And not Braun Strowman, Bronson Reed is strong here. And you put him over Braun Strowman. I mean, Strowman, you know what you're getting with him. You're not working on building him up. He's there now to put over other people. And this Bronson Reed stuff has been pretty good. I expect, we know how this is going to go. Big time tsunami spot is what I'm thinking. And Bronson Reed gets up, Braun Strowman doesn't. So there you go. The other match that I'm excited to kind of see play out tonight is Rey Mysterio versus Xavier Woods. We've had hints of a heel turn for the last few weeks with Xavier Woods, him not on the same page with his Kofi Kingston, with his New Day tag partner. Now he gets to work clear babyface Rey Mysterio. So what kind of demeanor is Xavier Woods going to have about him? What's he going to how's he going to present? Like, is he actually going to turn heel in this match? I mean, Rey is the perfect babyface to do it against because he's so beloved. But is it time? I think it is. I think it's time to pull the trigger on this, like once and for all. I mean, we've seen a lot. This story's been going on for quite some time, and I think you want to go with it. Like you definitely want to go with it like sooner than later, because you don't want it to feel like drawn out by the time it happens. You want that heel turn to happen like at the peak when people are most interested. And I think it's been a good mid-card angle for the show, but I don't know how long people are going to stick around for this to happen. So I'm not necessarily advocating for it to happen tonight, but you gotta get there. You definitely have to get there, sooner than later with it. And I would go with it right away here. All right, let's get to some news and nuggets here for Monday, September 30th. Before we wrap the show up, Nikita Lyons made her in-ring return at a WWE NXT live event over the weekend. She's been out, according to Wrestling Inc. here, since February, and she made a return. So it looks like she's going to be back into the fold. Not sure that means anything for the premiere tomorrow night on the CW for NXT, which is right in my backyard here. We'll talk about that on tomorrow's show. We'll preview, that NXT show. Big night for NXT. We'll see how that goes. But, she's been like a talent that they've kind of gone with here and there. Like, hasn't been a focus or a top pushed person, but she's been somebody that you look at and go, okay, they're flirting with maybe pushing her. Like, okay, look at her a little bit differently, or she is in the pipeline to get pushed. So there you go. we'll see. We'll see what that means long term. Okay, let's see here. Tickets for WWE Royal Rumble in 2025 will go on sale on November 15th. So it's in Indianapolis. It'll be Saturday, February 1st. And the pre-sale for those who want to get in on that pre-sale November 13th, if that's what you want. We'll wrap up there, guys. Thank you so much for being here. If you'd like to, the boss made a comment here, so I definitely want to get to that. The boss says Nikita Lyons, Cora Jade, Julia, Stephanie Vaquer, 4 future NXT Women's Champions. Put Nikita for the North American title first. That's not a bad idea, boss. That's just a really good idea. Like, I mean, Kalani Jordan, serviceable, I guess would be the way to put it, as Women's NXT North American Champion. They don't need that belt. Like most singles titles in pro wrestling right now, they don't need that belt. But they have it. And so, yeah, I mean, I think that Kalani Jordan has done a pretty nice job being the first champion there. But what a way to establish Nikita Lyons coming back if she wins that title right out of the gate in dominating fashion. You know, I mean, I think it's a good level for her at this point to like test waters of what she can be as a champion. So we'll see, but that's a good idea. Yeah, you look at that women's division. I mean, boy, Nikita Lyons, Cora Jade, Julia, Stephanie Vaquer. I would put Sol Ruca in there. I think she's been really impressive. Kalani Jordan too. I mean, she's still working at it, but I think that there's something there. Of course, Roxanne Perez, like there's an embarrassment of riches down there right now. And you know, like Shawn Michaels, you got to like continue building them up. But when all of those women are on the main roster, that's going to be a thing. That's going to be a thing, and that's going to recharge that women's division quick. And they do need it. I mean, they do need it. So you wonder like how long Roxanne Perez will be down there. You know, if she's doing the job to Julia tomorrow night, is she going up? I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, great call, boss. Good stuff. Thank you. Okay. So check out Brass Ring Media. That's my shop. Hopefully you guys all do. We have a full review and analysis of the first 3 episodes of the Mr. McMahon Netflix documentary. Fascinating, eye-rolling, and everything in between. We cover it all. We really break it down for our members. You can check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/BrassRingMedia. If you want to test us out, see what we're all about, head over to our YouTube channel, Brass Ring Media on YouTube. We also have our written work on Substack. We have a newsletter that goes out pretty much every day. And that's available too for free. So you can sign up now, Brass Ring Media Substack. I do a ton of writing there. So does the team. And so check that out. Certainly would appreciate it. Sean says BRM is awesome. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate that, man. One of the first members ever that we had, Sean. So thank you, Sean. And yeah, do what Sean says. It's worth trying out, especially for our Vince McMahon shows. You get access to our membership for free for your first 7 days. So you can check out those shows, see if you like what we're doing or not, and then, ride off into the sunset if you don't like it. But it's all there, patreon.com/Brass Ring Media. We'll be back tomorrow, guys, right here, 1TS Daily, to talk about Raw and preview NXT and anything else that happens. And likelihood, it will be some crazy stuff, as always. Thanks so much for joining me right here at One True Sport. Appreciate you all. Have a great Monday. Amy, you too. Have a great Monday. It'll get better. And we'll talk to you all tomorrow right here at 1TS Daily. See ya.